Crocs playing Misa, and I'm sitting there, and this was at ADV where we do the chase method, and there was something going off in the background, like an alarm or something on the ship, that was going beep, 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 but my character was already talking, and I sat there and waited for the beeps, because I heard the beeps, and Matt was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at ADV. I was waiting for the beeps. He's like, that's the alarm on the ship. Those are not beeps.
But yes, well, when you are cued, you do have the screen in front of you, and usually people record a line at a time. Sometimes you'll record a whole scene at a time.
Oh, young less down here.
Yesterday I was watching a show, and you happen to sound like one of the characters. Do you play Toa of Being an Angel?
I do.
Good ears.
Good ears. Wow. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to disguise it. There are certain characters that I play, like Toa. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Kyoko's pretty close to my regular voice from Full Metal Panic. There's a few that are kind of close to my real voice, and then I like the ones where, like in Full Metal Alchemist, where I get to talk way down in here, and everybody's like, "You did such a good job as Winry." I'm like, "I'm not Winry. I'm the low voice one. I'm the Beanie." But yeah, good ears. Yeah, Toa.
Nice work.
Okay, how did you become a voice actor anyway? And how did Aaron become one?
How did we become one, or how do you become one? How do you become one? Yes, okay. That's actually a very popular question, and I know Spike Spencer wrote a book. He's selling it at the table, but we're going to totally like take a page out of it and just talk here. No, really, it's nice. Basically, my first recommendation is that you live where the work is. So if you want to do anime dubbing, then you're probably going to need to live in Vancouver or LA or Texas. If you want to do any kind of voiceover acting, that's probably, you could do that in any big city. You would just look for an agent when you got to the city and get a demo made.
And to be honest, you guys probably have all kinds of, animated shows and whatnot that are created here that would be easy to kind of get into and start and probably pay a lot better.
Probably, and especially with the accent, it would be very difficult to transfer unless you can do an American accent.
But other than that, just act. Like, just act. And a lot of times if you go to talent agencies, like, every big city, I'm sure Brisbane has a talent agency, you go talk to them and they can tell you where would be a good place to go to, like, a voice acting school where you can learn mic technique and, how to do placement. Because basically when we do different voices, it's a matter of placement. Like, you can make it nasally, or you can make it really throaty. It makes your voice sound different. Little things like that you can learn.
When we come into the booth and we step up to the microphone and they say, okay, you're recording line 42, that is the first time we've read line 42. So
sometimes it changes 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Yeah, so quick reading is a good thing. But grades.
Speaking audiences, if there's a flap and you don't put something in there, they get very angry. In Japanese, they don't care. They're like, flappity flappy, I'm still talking. But if you do that in the English-speaking world, like, people are like, there wasn't a big flap. There was nothing in it. You messed up.
And it might not be this crowd. It might not be the people online at the anime online section of the internet, but it is the mass. TV watching, yeah.
But
those people know this.
When you're writing, because I do script adaptations from the translations, usually they work off the same translation for the subtitle and for the dub script. But what happens is, as an adapter, your job is to get the main idea across. Like, you don't want to take what is said for verbatim and move it over, because sometimes translations sound like Yoda. They're written in a way that...
To the store I will go.
Yeah, they're written in a way that if we had just taken it over and added a couple of words, you guys would be like, what is that? And if they also speak, Japanese people tend to speak in statements, like, which is just inherent to their language. They just speak in statements. Whereas we tend to be more conversational, and like if I was asking you a question, I'd be like, right, or kind of bring myself into it. And so you kind of have to add that into the dub a little bit. And you also have to think about characterization, like, does this character speak a certain way that we need to show that they're, maybe not as intelligent, so they say gonna and wanna and shoulda, have to, and this one's a little more proper, so they have to, not contract anything. And There's a whole bunch that goes into it. But we work off
Really
really
complicated.
Yeah, it's hard. That's like a whole panel on its own.
Yeah.
But
If you're talking about commentators to the producers in Japan, is to make it funny for the Western audience. That's actually what they tell us to do.
and without there's a couple of shows that, of course, we've gone like way, far because the Japanese have given us creative license. But for the most part, all of us try to stay as close to the main idea as possible, like to get the original intent across. And sometimes people aren't so good about that, but we try to be. We try to be. Don't hit us.
Now we've got this guy down here and then these two lovely ladies over there. I'm lining them up.
For Colleen, when you did Full Metal, with some of the other voice actors you work with, were there any that are really good at, really picked up on, or something you had to guide through certain parts?
Absolutely. I probably won't mention the ones I had to guide through certain parts, but other than Al, the guy who plays Al was Aaron Dismuke, and he was 11 when he started, and he did a terrific job. But I mean, he was 11, so we would actually have to promise him video game playing. Like if you record for 45 minutes straight, we will let you play Halo for 15 minutes, or give him candy, which his mother didn't know about, so he'll put that on YouTube. Yeah, so we there was some bribing necessary when he was younger. He's great, and he's going to be fantastic in the future too. So keep an eye on him. But the one I will mention, and it was a near thing for him not getting cast because we for some reason he didn't get called into audition. Sonny Strait, who plays Mace Hughes, for some reason he wasn't called in for the initial round of auditions for Full Metal Alchemist. And when we were going through watching, Mike McFarlane's the other director, we were both like, I just don't know who's going to play Hughes. I guess we could go with this guy. I mean, he's good. It's not perfect, but he's good. And then Mike heard Sonny from the other room, and he was like, hey, we haven't heard Sonny yet, have we? So he pulled him in, put him in the booth. He did the audition. Both of us were like going under the table. Yeah, no, that's good. And he got out, and one of the lines that he was auditioning with was, sorry, but I got a wife and kids at home. And then he got out of the booth, and after the audition was like, sorry, but I got a wife and kid at home. And he was Hughes. And ever after, he was my favorite person to record. He still is. I love recording him in the booth. He's terrific.
Two ladies down here.
Well, we have separate questions, but is everything open? Is open casting, or do you have to send in a demo reel and then get scouted for it?
Right?
I think it depends. In all honesty, I've been doing this for like 9 years, so back when I did it, it was an open audition. I don't know that they do that anymore. Like that was way back in the day. But I think probably the best thing to do is send in a demo. And I know Funimation actually calls people from that, and they'll pass the demo around to directors and stuff.
I get 3 emails a day with demos attached, so we do see them. But there's a very, very low chance of being cast in that way. Usually, I gotta say, it's who you know, and you kind of know somebody to get you in the door.
But they do auditions. Like there's certain shows where they'll have like a massive audition, and they'll call in all kinds of new people and people they've never heard before. And then, of course, those of us that have been doing it forever, we have to come in and audition as well. So, but every once in a while.
There was actually a round of that just recently, an open audition where I know a bunch of fans managed to get in the door for the audition. And from that, we've been using them for Walla and bit parts for at least a year. You'll see the name, I'm going to say it. You'll see the name Mary Morgan in some of the upcoming shows. There's lots of bits and lots of Walla, and she's really just a fan, and she managed to get an audition, and she's been, I don't know, she's paying her rent off this.
She's slowly working her way up.
Yep.
No, it never gets boring because thankfully, well, unlike Colleen, I've never worked on a show that goes on and on and on and on forever, so that would be an interesting question for you to answer. Usually with anime, you've got 26, maybe 52 episodes, so by the time you really get into it is when it's over. And then something new comes along and it's a brand new character, and so I never get bored.
For the most part, that's completely true. The ones that do go on for a long time, you just have to find a way to make yourself not bored. You have to find a way, something that interests you in every scene that you're doing, or if you get along with the director really well, that helps. But I'm actually more worried not about becoming bored with the voice acting, but about how the voice acting is affecting my regular